Hello, listeners and viewers. Edward Shanahan here with Annette, who is
Hi, everybody.
that way. Okay. Um, Here on the Unexplained World broadcast and podcast. Uh, Today we're going to be talking about Yule, and that's going to be
The
your
winter solstice. I'm going to give you some words about how it's celebrated.
okay, and I'll have a few questions for her too about it compared to the Christian, season of Christmas, and because basically they're kind of alike in a way. And then I'm going to read a segment taking from my book, Taking the Spiritual World Seriously. And what I'm going to be reading is You Are Special to Someone, okay, during this season. And then we'll probably go into a little discussion about this and that. And but we're here right before the holiday. And
We want to wish everyone health, good health. Take care of
yes,
yourself out there.
yes, during the holiday. Annette's got her casual shoulder shirt.
Oh, I've got Mickey on today for all the kids.
It's got Mickey Mouse. And for some of us people older than 50, I got the Batman from the TV series. Okay.
My best friend. That's a great guy, Batman.
Yeah, Adam was. You can find it at Kohl's, maybe. I got lucky and found it there. So, after this brief 30-second commercial to help pay the bills,
Pay the bills.
we'll be back. So we'll
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
See you in a minute.
Hello, viewers, listeners. We're back. The Unexplained World, Annette and Ed. And as we said, one of the subjects we're going to talk about today is Yule. That falls under Annette's specialty.
That's in my
discussion.
wheelhouse.
Yeah, wheelhouse it's called, right? And so she's going to talk about that. Let the individuals, I'm a Christmas type of guy, but Yule is fantastic too, because basically, let's face it, and that would say, yeah, majority of the Catholic Christian celebrations come from the pagan side of things. So, and Yule is the Christmas version for the pagans. So go ahead, Anna.
Okay, so Yule does predate Christianity. It's actually the winter solstice. We celebrate on December 21st, which is your first day of winter. And the idea is that we are celebrating the rebirth of the sun. So we have the longest night and the shortest day on winter solstice. But after that date, then we get more and more and more minutes of daylight each day. So the sun is growing. So it's like it's born and it's growing, similar to another sun that we celebrate during your Christmas. So the idea here is that you are passing the time of darkness and coming into the time of light. So it's very exciting. That's why we would also, at this time of the year, we're really introspective and we're thinking, we're at home, especially during the recent pandemic. A lot of us are stuck at home. And many of the pagan traditions got started because people were in their homes. So you're thinking and planning for when you do have better weather and you do have more outdoor time and more light to work, what you will plant, what you will reap. You make all your decisions about how you feel about yourself as well. Look inside, take a little checklist of what you've been up to over the past year and how you're going to improve yourself coming year moving forward. During the Yule celebration, it's just as cool for kids as Santa Claus. We have the Holly King. And this time of the year when the Holly King and the Oak King have a battle. So we have a wonderful tradition of having members of the family dressed as the Holly King and the Oak King and get out swords and battle it out. Now, the Holly King has been ruling and he's going to yield and fall to the Oak King, who will then take over as a young, virile king and preside over the coming months, the coming seasons of spring and summer. And then at the summer solstice, okay, when the day is the longest and the night is the shortest, and that starts a time when the dark time is getting longer and longer and longer. It is the Holly King who is virile and strong, and the Oak King is old and frail, and they have a battle again, and is the Oak King who falls and the Holly King prevails. So it's like when we receive presents from Santa Claus, okay? It is a similar idea that the Holly King is giving gifts as his departure presents, and that you've done a great job over the season. You worked hard all summer. You planted, you reaped, you tended your animals, you took care of your family. You did as much work as you could to survive the winter. So you deserve some reward, some presents, okay? Some good cheer for your hard work done. And then we have the practice of bringing greens into the house. That's a pagan thing. And that's because we're reminding ourselves that the green times will return again. If you look out the windows, we see a lot of, brown trees, kind of drab, dry grass, sometimes snow at one of these days. And it's good that we have the greens in the house that remind us that there's hope to come, that there's always a day that's going to come when it's not going to be brown, it's going to be green. And then we're going to be able to get outside and do our stuff again. And not just always work. There's always the enjoyment and the spiritual fulfillment that you get from being in nature, being outdoors, all that stuff. So Yule is the winter solstice, and you can see my little Yule tree here is all decked out with its suns and stars and moons. It's because at my house we're celebrating the return of the sun.
Now, with the Christmas tree or Yule tree, I see that there. Excuse me.
Either way.
You put traditional type of ornaments on? Do individuals put traditional ornaments on that type of tree?
Okay, so I don't think that there is a specific pagan Yule tree to traditional ornament. I choose to decorate my tree with the things that remind me of the season, which are brightly colored sunshine. You can see all my lights are orange and amber.
Okay.
This is glowing like the sun.
Boy, that must have been. Did you have to replace them, or you were able to find them like that?
I might stock up at Samhain, when the local places have their orange lights available.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
At Halloween.
Okay.
It's my Halloween tradition, stock up on Yule lights. Always with the planning.
Let me ask you a question. You got 2 boys, teenagers.
Yeah.
How do they adapt with their friends who aren't pagan?
Okay, so
that's because I'm sure there's a lot of parents that would love to go this route, but yet, okay, how about the kids? How about this? How's the other kids going to react, and family's going to react to me and my kids if I go the Yule celebration over Christmas type?
Okay, so pretty much, the age-old rule since the burning times has been, don't talk about it. Keep it quiet. Let it be your personal business. Some people, and that's in any spiritual path, some feel very dramatic about it and want to make a big deal and communicate and talk. And that's, that's their personal business. When I was raising my boys, it was perfectly acceptable in my household to be any religion you wanted to be, any path, as long as you are awakened to the fact that you're not the only thing with a consciousness in this world.
That is nice to know. That is nice to hear. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, as it turns out, when they were little, we had lots of traditions like the Yule tree and the Holly King and the Oak King, and they know what that is. They grew up with that. That's their those archetypes are part of their lives. Just like some other kids might have the Easter Bunny or the Santas. We have similar figures. Now, my boys were always, I think, very careful not to, and not, I shouldn't say careful. They just felt like they didn't need to talk about it a lot. And when they would see winter traditions being celebrated by their friends or at the school or in the community, I think they would just go along with that. You know, my famous words are, you know, there are many paths up the mountain, but there's only one mountaintop. So
Yep.
we all get there in different ways, but we're all aimed at the same thing. So I think that, and it was fun sometimes too, when they would maybe by accident discover in each other, oh, that other kid is pagan too. You know, I heard him talking about Yule, or I heard him talking about, you know, Beltane, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, I think you a little bit you discover, and you learn to figure out who you can share with, you know, more so than others. So yeah, that my best advice is to, you know, follow your heart, keep it on the lowdown. And then when you find folks or ways that you can share, it works out great. You know, as an art teacher, I'm lucky because many artistic expression, cave paintings, you know, different styles of things, different reasons paintings were painted or so forth, different art movements come sometimes from pagan backgrounds. So it's cool to be able to talk about what was then, what is now, what might be in the art world. And that helps you express also then what you know to be true, or what your mythology is. I think all mythology is awesome. So it's all game as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. I sit, you know, we've been friends for, 20 years or so.
Yeah.
And I sit down and, you know, love to hear about yours. I know Muslim people. I'd love to hear about their religion, Jewish, everything. It's kind of, and then you absorb it, and it's like
It becomes
basically everybody's got the final, what would I say? The final outcome. Does that make okay? Like you said,
I mean, and I
it's
think
different ways of getting up the mountain, but there's only one mountaintop. So
and many faiths, I think, put limits on themselves by saying this is the only way. The way I believe, that's the only way. You know.
right.
And okay, if that works for them, awesome. But for me, I want to hear all the ways. I want to know about every single thing there is out there. What if I miss something by accident? It's so important to my development. So I'm always
And-
consciously evolving. I need to know all the stories.
And the nice thing about paganism, Wicca, I'm sure would fall under that too, is you guys don't put yourselves in this holier than thou type of, you know, mind frame. You know, you don't, you know.
Hopefully.
No, I'm just saying. But what I'm saying by that is, you guys, just because a person has flaws, doesn't make them a bad person. Okay.
Well, that's good because most of the pagans are really flawed. So it works out great.
Well, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Where if you're Christian in that, or Catholics, if you got flaws, God forbid, you know, that type of stuff.
What's
How
part of
could you
life?
how could you say you're Christian or Catholic if you know you do this? See what I'm saying? I just too much judgmental. Not so much in the pagan field, but a lot of judgmental in other faiths, I believe, and they go overboard, waiting to point the finger. So okay. Now one other question. What?
That
What'd you
sometimes patriarchal religions are about power over.
Yeah.
You know, they have harsh rules and finger wagging because they're trying to contain the people and keep power over them. And what better way than to shove a bunch of rules down their throat and force them into one way of thinking, have some blind faith, why don't you? Yeah, so it was, that's how pagan religions got shuffled to the side, and we just, and patriarchal religions just gravitated towards changing the pagan holidays into what they wanted the people to worship. And pretty soon, after you've done it long enough, you forget about the old way and you just go with this new way.
Yeah.
You know, it only takes about 50 years. It's not hard.
Um,
Somebody's mind.
and as just staying on the subject for a little bit longer because it does. I like the people to be educated. Okay, because there are some places on Facebook that are combining the two. Okay, paganism, Christianism, we're Christians in that. There's even a place on Facebook called Catholic Witches. Okay,
That's
very
awesome.
interesting. Yeah.
That's wonderful because they're keeping what they were brought up with and opening themselves to a little bit more of the story.
Oh
They
yeah.
just
Oh yeah. They dive definitely into. Oh, it's like they dive deep. I mean, internal spiritual knowledge. That's why I say it goes deeper than the book. You know what I'm saying? There's more chapters in the book than which the book is
and what they
that is
publish.
presented. There's more chapters to it. Let's put it that way. With pagans, is there a Santa Claus?
Well, that would be our Holly King.
Okay.
He's the king of the elves. You know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's so cute that Santa Claus has a bunch of elves working for him all the time. You know, I see the Holly King as the king of the elves, and I see the Oak King as the king of the fairies, because our fairies are more prevalent in nature, and you can, I shouldn't say prevalent, you can see their activity more during the warmer, bright time of the year. So yeah, so we got the elves and all the wee ones are balanced with the Holly King and the Oak King. So yeah, we have a Santa. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
When it comes to spring and when spring starts, let's do a show, and you just said it, fairies, and they leave signs and everything like that.
Oh,
Let's do a
absolutely.
show on that because you're going to have.
Because I'm going to have a fairy festival coming up on June 12th. So
Yeah.
we're going to have to dig in deep to the fairies and the wee folk.
Because even the people who, a lot of people like hiking and all that, it could give them something else to look for when they're out there doing it. Yeah. Yeah. That great idea. Great idea, Ed.
Sure. I've got lots of tips too on how to see fairies and how to soften your vision and look through a seeing stone. And there's a bunch of stuff that helps you see fairies.
Really?
Oh, sure. I'm the queen of the fairies at the festival. I know all the tips.
Why don't we, okay. You and I are going to have to talk offline. Ideas. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be some interesting things we're working on for 2021 that may interest the people. As they become more solid, set in stone, we'll announce them for sure. I like to do a section right now with the holidays coming up. I'm going to put on my cheaters. It's called "You Are Special to Someone." Okay, it's out of my book. It's chapter 6, matter of fact, of taking the paranormal and spiritual world seriously. All right. You can hear me okay on it?
Yes. Okay, go ahead. I'd love to hear
All
it.
right. It's not that long. You are special to someone. I wanted to bring this to you all, read all the way through it. And it is also a good read for around the holidays or to pass along to someone, as there are some people who need to know this around the holidays, as they may miss the one that they knew loved them. Okay, so it'd be like, let's say, my parents would be missing them, and I knew they loved me. We all have lost someone who has passed away, someone who has loved and has loved us. We have loved and has loved us, but for some people, that is all they had, or all that remained in their long life. And sadly, and that there could be seniors, and sadly, many feel they now have no one who loves them. Please remember, the ones who have passed away and loved you will always love you. They will do and will always do so. Also remember, they are the ones you can still go to with your thoughts and problems, and in reality, They may be able to help you even more being in the spirit world than they could here in the living world. They all cross over. There is more information documented on that than there is about not knowing that they're dead, being lost, not crossing over, etc. No one will ever get me, and that's me. I honestly mean that, and that knows me to believe that they do not cross over or are lost, or some spirits do not even know they're dead, as some psychics say, to get in your house. It is beyond what any higher power would allow. So never think that your loved one is not crossed over. Many individuals that I have done my readings for, using an item of their loved ones who has passed away, usually see a smile come across my face during the reading with the item of their loved ones. It is because I pick up on the happiness of the spirit and the knowledge that the living loved one is being well watched over by the one who loved them and has passed on. For your own fact finding about if spirits do cross over, just do an internet search on near death experiences, as you might as well get it from the actual source. That being those who experience it, the actual source being those that have experienced it. I have a wonderful gift. I had a wonderful gift given to me by the spirit world. I actually had the opportunity to talk to a young man, 38 years of age, who died and was brought back to life. He was dead for a few minutes. During the conversation, it was a beautiful thing to see what came across his face as he discussed dying and crossing over, along with what I felt by way of the energy coming off of him. No experience before nor after, as of now, anyways, has come close to it of what I seen in his face. And thus he kind of, Annette went into a different world when he was talking. It was beautiful to see. But many, but for many, remember, you're loved and will always be loved. The holidays and anniversaries is a time of year that is hard for some of you, and I totally understand. Nevertheless, you are blessed with the fact that you will always be special to someone and loved forever. For those who it is not as hard for, because you are surrounded by those who love you, do not forget those who have passed away and you loved. It is somewhat easy to do so during the hustle of the holidays. Bring the loved ones up during the holiday conversations when your family members are together, so that the ones who pass away will know during this time of the year that they are still part of the holiday gathering as in the past. That's that chapter. So yeah, that we'll get these off. Once I seen yeah, talking to somebody that if you have an opportunity to talk to somebody, or even if they said they died and they were brought back, ask them if they had any experience. That's what I did. And when the guy started describing it, it was like, wow. His whole face, he turned like 10 years younger when he was so relaxed. Yeah, yeah. So never doubt it. Never doubt it. Never.
Can I add one little thing on
Go
the end
ahead.
of what you're just reading? You know, I think that when we're at this time of the year and we're feeling lonely and we're missing those people who have gone before us, um, you are special to them. And sometimes we have to know that the dead don't want us to be miserable. They want us to love again.
Oh,
And
yes.
in this real world that we still have to be, that we're stuck in, the living are stuck in.
Yes.
So allow yourself the opportunity to make new relationships, reach out to people, you know, have connections. I know this is the COVID time, but find ways to reach out, and it's okay to love again.
Oh, they want you to. Your life, they planned, they wanted to see their life with you was supposed to be happiness. Okay? Time of happiness to the end. They had to run. They still want to see you happy. Okay? I get a little choke up. Um, my mom died. She couldn't shake it. She could not shake it.
Yeah.
And I think that may have did her in sooner than later because she missed the love of her life.
Yeah, it's very hard. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
And somebody
When
that,
you're older and you're already with that person for a very long time, that makes it even harder. But
yeah,
they
somebody that treated her as a queen
Yeah.
because the first person she loved was an ass. Total jack. I'll say it. Okay. He was a sperm donor. Let's put it that way. Okay. And I'm it. So she would not remarry until I turned 18 because she didn't want no man ruling over me. Okay. Yeah. Only child? Yeah. Set in my ways? Yeah. Take no for an answer? No. Um, you know that. A fighter, when it sets his mind to something, definitely will accomplish it, as you know. And we ain't going to talk about that yet. Okay. Even at the age of 62, going on 63, never say never. All right, with me. So, before we finish, yes, folks, they still make the magazine. Okay, Mad Magazine. This is the Christmas special. Ho ho hum. Okay, they even got things, goofy stuff in there. Okay,
It's G-rated.
what?
Make sure it's rated G, whatever
Oh
you
yeah,
say.
it's rated G. Yeah, it's copper tone, the top copper tone commercial, but with two different participants. How's it?
Mhm.
We still got Spy versus Spy and everything else in the. Okay, yeah. So when you see it once in a while, you gotta get it. Okay. So a little bit more expensive than when I was 17, 18, but color ain't cheap no more. And
Ding, ding, hey, Mad Magazine, that was a free advertisement for you. Send
yeah,
Ed a free subscription.
and it's all glossy too, so that's a big change. That costs money. And I came across this, probably my best find in a long time. Can you see it?
The complete science fiction treasury of H.G. Wells.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, there's some War of the Worlds going on over there.
yeah, some big thick book. So,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it'll be passed on for sure. Um, and if the grandkid needs any of the stories, are in there. Annette, thank you, listeners. Sorry for getting a little choked up,
Oh, it's my pleasure to be with you.
but and listeners, sorry for getting a little choked up, but um,
It's okay. It
true
shows you
feelings,
love and you're sensitive.
true feelings,
That's
and
right.
yeah, and maybe a little more than what I should have said, but I said it and it's done and over with. I don't edit these segments, so um, but let me say in the near future, I do got some siblings wandering around, never met, except for basically recently through communication this way. One in Indiana, so um, come maybe next year. Uh, yeah, maybe. Uh, older than me too. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So I got that going for me, anyways. All right. So uh, listeners, a happy Yule, a
Merry
Merry
Yule.
Christmas,
Happy
and
Hanukkah.
I hope you enjoyed this. There'll be more coming. Um, you can find it for love for anybody over 50. Get it. They'll, especially a guy, they'll enjoy it. And Annette, thank you. You and your family have a great one.
Thank you. Blessed be everybody.
Merry Christmas, blessed be, and a Happy New Year too coming up. Thank you.